Yeah. What's up? What's up? And we are back. The Hard Corner is back with another one. You already know the drill. And if you don't know, now you know. The spot where the news brings you the news is back with another one for your weekly dose of that underground 411. Busky, what the fuck is going on?
You know, another week. I love it. I love where the news brings you the news.
Yeah, the news brings you literally again.
Yep.
Oh, Joe, we're getting hit as we speak from freaking every angle over here. It's like
yeah.
But what's going on? What's been going on? A lot of shit going on, and a lot of stuff I wanted, we're gonna talk about that has a lot of people's panties in an uproar for some reason. But besides that, before that, what's up with you? What you did this week?
Not much, just gathered some content for this family stuff, did some upstate stuff, jumped in the water, the usual weekends. Good stuff though. Can't complain.
Yeah. It's been fucking hot as fuck down here. I don't know how it is up there.
Yep,
South Florida is hot as a motherfucker. So
yep, it's been in the 90s. It's been warm.
Yeah, but everybody, shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. I feel the energy, and we got to keep that energy going all over the world. I be getting hit up on DMs with new bands, new music, and people just telling me they're tapping in. Make sure you subscribe. It's very important. Subscribing gets our podcast in the mix with everybody else's, and we got to let people know we're in the motherfucking building. True. But anyway, with that being said, if you haven't heard, there's a lot of shit going on now, and especially with a certain reunion. If you don't know, Pantera's back. So if you don't know, now you know. Yeah. But shout out to Pantera. Well, I say shout out to Pantera. I don't know them personally, but there's been a lot, as you know, I heard they're back, and I heard the line. Is this the official lineup?
Yeah, they announced an official lineup with Phil and Rex, obviously the two original members. And they've included Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society, played in Ozzy's band. I'm pretty sure he was a pretty good friend of, again, I don't know these guys personally, so
yeah, he was down with them, I think, too.
I'm pretty sure he was good friends with Dimebag, so it makes sense there. And Charlie Benante from Anthrax will be playing drums. So pretty cool. And people will have their opinions on whether this is Pantera or not. Clearly, I don't think anyone is saying it's Pantera. I don't think it's necessarily a reunion more so than it's a celebration of, you know what I mean? This Diamond and I forget his name. What's the drummer's name? Vinnie Paul.
Vinnie Paul, yeah.
I mean, they're huge, legendary drummer, legendary guitar player, songwriters, brothers. It was a legendary band, whether you like it or not. I think there's a whole generation of people that will die to see this. Yeah. I saw them before, and I'll probably go see this because I love Pantera. I love the music. I love the whole thing. So it is something that, has people's panties in a bunch. There's also the other half that people are super excited to see it, so, and I'm pretty sure that the estates of the Abbott brothers, both, Vinny and Dime, they have signed off on it. They approve of it. So it's not some shady behind the back, cash.
Yeah, that's good to see, because somebody put up some funny shit. Who was it? I put Pantera MJ.
Yeah, you're gonna start JM or whatever. Yeah,
that was pretty funny. But
totally.
No, look it. I really don't understand. It's funny because I started hearing about all this backlash. Some people talking shit about the reunion and this, and I'm like, when he was on stage with a bunch of other guys with his other bands, nobody said one thing. Now you got at least one more guy from the original shit, and then half these motherfuckers got a problem with it.
I know.
And I'm like, it makes no sense to me. And I'm like,
I'm
like, if you accepted him doing those songs with a bunch of nobodies, I don't know what's the problem now with having the last other guy alive.
Right.
Yeah. And like, all right, sure, it would have been great, the whole thing. It also would be great if Jimi Hendrix was alive. It'd be great if, Mozart was alive. It'd be great if a lot of things, but they're not.
Yep. And even Zakk Wylde, who's a part of this, says same thing, with Ozzy when he plays songs that Randy Rhoads wrote or that Jake E. Lee wrote. He's just honoring them. It's not like it's anything different. I think for him going into this Pantera thing, he's looking at it more as just, I'm playing these songs that people obviously love and have lasted for decades, so it's a celebration more than a reunion. I think people should look at it as celebrating the life of those two brothers.
Yeah, I agree. And I said, look at, to me, it's all music. I'm one of the guys in this show and my podcast is never about politics and
Yeah.
sides and all that shit because, you know, I got Pantera right now. I work out every day and Pantera's on, you know, they're in the mix with my shit. There's also, we could sit here and try to front like there wasn't some feedback with certain issues on certain people in the band, you know, having certain outlooks on certain types of people and whatnot, which we're not here for that. But what I'm glad to see, and also it's a little bit of a shit talking topic that people have what do you call selective memory. If you have a hard track, people have selective memory. Yeah. But God forbid I get a flu shot or something that shit'll be front page news and people will run for it for years. Yeah. But my point being is it's about the music. You know, if the music moves you, and they moved a lot of people because they were the biggest band on the planet at one point. Yeah. You know, you can't deny it. You know, accept it for what it is. If we all dissected every single person in every single band, we would be bummed out at all our heroes. Yeah, absolutely. It ain't about individuals. It's about the music. With that being said, it's dope that Pantera's. I'll check it out if I get if I get on the guest list.
If I get in somehow.
Yeah, but you know, they changed the game. I was a big fan, not in the way where I listen to every Pantera track, but the 5, 8 Pantera tracks, I don't like them. I love them. Yeah, and enough where I'm like, they lit my fire in certain angles of my songwriting and shit, and it's hard, you know. My personal opinion, Phil is the best metal singer that was in the game. Him on point, blew anybody out the box. He sounded hard. He could sing. He could keep a melody, and you could understand him and energy. Yeah, this is Phil from before. I don't know now, but
I think the same for Dime. You know, I think he's just a fucking shredder, dude. You know, and he really did define you know, a whole new version of metal music, groovy, you know, and that whole flavor. His brother too. I mean, those beats behind it were so simple and easy and loud and powerful and big, and the bass, to think that they were a 4-piece and Dime would head off on some shredding solo, but you wouldn't lose any of the beefiness of that band, you know.
I love that part about the one guitar, like that was a part that was like, yo, it could be done, you know, like you know, and like.
So I don't know, man. I'm excited to check it out. Maybe that'll wear off in time. I don't know, you know, like, but for what it is, I think it's, you know, I think it's exciting news.
Yeah, definitely. I'll peep it out. And then we got some OGs right now that you put. I didn't know they just dropped this, but Rhythm of Fear. Tell me how you ran into that. Shout out to the Rhythm and Fear fam. Also, we have history with those motherfuckers. Shout out to them. They've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Florida. You know, I remember catching up with these dudes when they were a backing band for Eddie Leeway, when Eddie was doing some Leeway stuff years back. And I remember meeting these guys through that. And, you know, they told me they had some other band called Rhythm of Fear, and I checked it out and was fucking blown away, you know, and I've been keeping up with them ever since. And this is a new track called Tears of Ecstasy. Which just came out, I think, this week, and new album coming out in October that is, you know, available on Spotify pre-save right now. But I don't know, dude. I mean, it's just that sort of crossover metallic hardcore Leeway style. But I think they've grown over the years into incorporating more melodic sort of Bay Area, you know, thrashier stuff.
And them, and just so everybody knows, in South Florida, they're those motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Like, they're the guys that been doing the records, you know, staying in the mix. They play the shows, and they always were on that, you know, they always had that hardcore thrash, that mix, that vibe. They actually also had recorded one of the last times, well, I ran into them here and there. Shout out to them big time. But they also had recorded in the studio, in Eric Rutan's studio, where we did the one record. They ended up going to record with him afterwards. I remember Rutan told me, yo, the Rhythm of Fear dudes were here. They hit me up or something. It was cool, you know, and hopefully we could do some shit together, because they've been grinding out for years. And in South Florida, which is hard for heavy music to survive in South Florida, that shit's like, you know, it's like being a fish trying to survive in the desert. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible. And look, they're dropping new music. So I'm psyched for them.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Groovy, fast, thrashy, has some really great breakdowns, cool, cool vocals, vocal patterns, the whole thing, And
Yeah.
official music video is also out, so you can check that out on YouTube and, just keep an eye out for that in October.
Yeah, for sure. And make sure, I say it all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it. You got to hit these Spotify's, these band camps, and I don't know exactly one, but all those music platforms for the new bands and the OG bands, because that's how we get our hits. If you ain't buying it, we at least need to see those hits. So our companies, if you're on a record company or label or whatever, they see that people give a fuck about you, and they'll help the bands that you love keep going. So it takes two, you know what I mean? It takes two to tango, like that fucking saying, but that's really how it works. So make sure, like, subscribing, reposting, and definitely hitting these band camps and following them are very important and key to keeping, preserving this shit, just underground music, because we know the big wigs ain't fucking with us. So we got to support our own. So you know the deal. Make sure you support those fucking bands.
Hell yeah.
And
yes, sir.
And with that being said, I just shout out to everybody who tuned into the Billy Milano podcast episode I did. Like, that was one of my favorite podcasts, because in true Milano fashion, you just press play, record, and go.
Yeah.
But he put me on to something, and I wanted to put everybody on. I seen this. I didn't get to talk to him much about it, but first of all, let's talk about this poster.
Yeah.
This poster got to be like the best poster on the planet.
I
want to get it tattooed on my forehead. I might get Milano that tattooed right here on the side of my face. But for everybody who's not watching on YouTube, well, you better be watching on YouTube, because that's the only way to see this shit. But as you can see, it's an open air. It's a fest. And I originally just saw this first flyer, and I'm glad, Busky, you found the other one. But this flyer, I just saw the first one. Can we get back to the first flyer for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to point something out. So I'm thinking, like, all right, he sends me this flyer and he don't say nothing else. And I'm like, okay, so it's just Billy. I see Billy Milano, campfire chats, true tour stories. So I just picture him with no shoes on, his crazy hair around a campfire yelling at people. But then,
which I would probably pay to go see.
I absolutely would pay to I'll pay anything for Milano. Trust me when I tell you this.
He's a bold, courageous man.
Oh my God. When you talk about love him or hate him, if you want to see freedom balled up in a human, that's mental freedom. But Busky, I'm glad you found it. What's the follow-up flyer to this festival? So I guess Milano's going to be there holding court, and definitely go check him out. But
there's a pretty insane lineup to follow this. Who do we got? We got Suicidal headlining from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Suicidal with Municipal Waste, Pig Destroyer. Can't go wrong with that. Ghoul, very cool band. Creeping Death.
I'm hearing a lot of Ghoul now. A lot. Yeah. I actually like that shirt they do, that with the red, like that lettering.
Yep.
And then pretty bugged out. But Pig Destroyer too, coming up a lot lately. Yep. But anyway, keep going. What is it?
Yeah, and it's cool because these bands, like you said, I've known those names for a while too. So it's cool to see them getting some shine and actually getting billed highly on a lot of these festivals, because years ago they were sort of down lower and they were new, so it's cool to see. Same thing with Creeping Death. They're another band, I think, from Texas who just rips, newer style death metal. My boy Sherwood from Skinless from Albany, New York.
Skinless hard. Always represent.
And he's an awesome dude, and I know he's been out in Colorado for a while, so it's cool to see him back in the mix. And this other band, No Mas, they're another newer band, kind of on that grind tip, which is really cool band. And everybody below that, dude, I don't know. And that's why I love this, because I can't wait to dig in and Spotify and Bandcamp and check out so many of these other bands, because there's probably so many great things in there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot I haven't heard. And if you love bands that you could barely fucking read, this is the ones you fucking gotta watch.
There you go.
But I'm starting to get used to it, because now I feel like I'm starting to learn Sanskrit. Like when reading some of these, I'm like, I can read. It says ghoul. It says ghoul. That one says fucking anal asshole, or fucking butthole destroyer. Whatever. I love it. But no, but Shout out to all you ghoulish motherfuckers with the crazy. As a matter of fact, though, all jokes aside, we actually had Madball did it once. We did like a drippy letter, like it was blood. We did it, but it was kind of like our, our salute to all you fucking crazy metal motherfuckers with the wild thing. But the flyer's dope. It looks like a municipal waste fucking shirt video.
Yep, definitely.
And you can definitely check that out. Make sure you go support Billy Milano, Suicidal, and all those guys. That's going down September 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th at the Hog Rock Campground, Cave in Rock, Illinois. Listen, it's going on at the Hog Rock Campground. That's some serious.
Billy Milano
with a bunch of juggalos. Shout out to my juggalos. Listen, everybody's invited to the party as long as you bring your own beer.
That's right. No, but that looks like it'll be a good time for sure.
Yeah, no, it looks cool. It's definitely cool, and I like seeing these fests, and and I like seeing just because we don't have a band, we have things that we offer still from being around so long. If it's Milano doing that, if it's us doing this, and being behind the scenes, that's what I like to see. People still this year. I don't know how people could again fall out of something that is supposed to be part of their DNA. You know what I mean? So it's like so weird to me. But speaking of some OGs, I had ran into this, and I wanted to give it a shout out because it's cool. The Bane, I won't even lie. I saw some of it. I want to go see it again. I want to sit down and see the whole shit. But I saw clips of it, and shout out to the Bane and shout out to all those guys. But I had seen that they rehashing the. I don't want to say rehashing, but they're reviewing or whatever you want to call it, pre-showing the video again at a couple of select movie theaters. So I figured I wanted to let everybody know if you're anywhere near this to make sure you go. Right here we got the flyer. August 10th in Cambridge, Mass. at the Brattle Theater, and is a question and a Q&A with Bane. So shout out to the Bane family for real. Those are some, man, we lost a lot this year. Trust me when I tell you this. Shout out to my brother. This is why I do this shit. But we're here to celebrate the people we lost because you know what? We wouldn't be doing this shit without them. And I know the same for these guys. It keeps us going. But this is how we support. August 7th in California. Cali, you're going to get August 17th, Santa Ana, Frida Cinema. Go check it out. Holding these moments, the fucking Bane doc. From what I seen, it looked dope. I know the people, and just everything, good dudes, and I back it. I'm all for it, and we got to show these people that. And I know Baniacs. That was the first shout out to Chris
Lakovich.
Yeah, he's the one who put me on the Baniacs, and then I learned. But I'm like, yo, shout out to all the Baniacs, and shout out to Bane family, Bobby, all of them.
Yeah, I got mad love for these dudes. Real quick story. Years ago, a band that I was doing called The Promise was on tour with Bane and Comeback Kid. Our van caught fire in the Arizona desert in the middle of the night. We lost every single thing that we owned. Van burned to the ground. So we called, Bane and said, listen, our van burned to the ground. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to fucking finish this tour. So long story short, they ended up saving the day, picking us up. And we all crammed into their van. They were sponsored by a ton of clothing companies at the time. They had their clothing companies send us sneakers, socks, everything. They took us to Walmart. They bought us all new clothing. We continued the tour playing on their gear. And just an amazing, honestly, they're one of those bands that it's like they're not just a band. They really are a family. They really are a unit. They really are something more than just a bunch of fucking music and stage dives and lyrics. Like they really are, a full family. So I don't know. That touched me immensely when it happened. I've been very good friends with a lot of these dudes since. And when they did their final shows, The Promise actually got back together and played, those shows, which was an honor for them to ask us, and it was fun for us to do. So I have nothing but love for these guys. And like you said, in honor of your brother, also Stu, who was, their bass player,
of course,
who passed away. I got mad love for Stu. So
yeah, definitely
shout out, definitely check these out. Awesome band, and they deserve nothing but love.
Yeah, definitely go support them. And I want to sit down. I just checked out that Life of Agony documentary. I want to check these out because
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know, I'm starting to like them more just in general, looking at these docs from,
Yeah.
you know, I like filling in the gaps too, because I was involved with some of these, watching these bands come up and be there.
Yeah,
So it's good to see the evolution, the stuff that I didn't see because I was doing my thing.
Yep.
So I gotta kind of get to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And but yo,
Great
but yeah,
band.
no, definitely. So shout out, go support them. And with that being said, there's also with having the OGs still doing the OG thing, we got a lot of new shit that just dropped. And shout out to all the new bands dropping new music and all the OG bands dropping music. But I actually shout out to everybody, add me on TikTok right now. I don't dance or do none of that stupid shit. I do it for the podcast and everything because I know people live there. But I actually I fall in these holes of these TikTok stories or whatever, and I'm running into a lot of bands because I mainly got labels or whatever, and I'm running in and I'm checking out a lot of bands, and I run into this one band, and I see like New York, and I see like real quick some hip hop, but I hear hard music, and I'm like, who are them? And I don't know who the fuck they are because I know if it's New York, I gotta know. Boom, this is what I ran into. NYCL Kai. I don't know how if you say it like that or Party Out the Roof. How you think they say that name? You think?
You got me. I'm running with NYCL Kai.
Or Nicel.
Nickel maybe. Nickel Kai.
Oh,
I don't know.
Shit, right?
See, this is the thing is like, this is a whole new generation. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. It's a new flavor, everything. Not to, speak your mind about it, though. You heard it first. You turned me on to it, so I want to hear what you thought first.
Yeah, so first of all, so I bugged out because it's in the line of, I heard metal, I heard hardcore, I heard, a recording that wasn't like the big perfect, it was a gritty recording. And then I heard the elements of hardcore, but some metal, but kind of its own thing. But I heard a classic, I tasted a classic flavor, a classic, if it's a E-Town Scarhead kind of energy with this band, but with all new type of energy. Like I didn't hear it enough. I heard it a couple of times, but enough to even be like, what would they sound like? Like who else? Yeah. Like what's the categories under their umbrella? Because I only heard one track, everybody. But something about it caught my goat, and I had to bring it to the table because I'm feeling. I won't front. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm a big hip hop head, but I was never the biggest fan of hardcore and hip hop. I like when bands take the energy of hip hop, but not so much always mixing it. These guys have that, and I don't know if I like it, but I don't hate it. But I definitely something I find interesting about it where I want to hear more of it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good take. And I'm glad you mentioned all that because that's the same way I feel. This isn't necessarily my wheelhouse. It's not my genre that I go to. I do appreciate and respect it for what it is. And being a fan of music, I understand that influence constantly builds. So year after year after year, your people, these young kids are pulling influence from things that we did or our friends did or whatever people did 20, 30 years ago now, Yeah. So for me, like you said, I hear some of that hardcore influence. I hear like a Son of Scam Dust, Danny Diablo, like that street, metal / hardcore / rap. I hear that influence in there, but it's not that. It's something new. It's a 20-year-old kid doing that, influenced by a lot of this stuff, And when you sent it to me, I didn't do any sort of research. I just hit play, and I wanted to hear it first to see what I thought. And that was my first thing. I was like, man, this sounds like some New York City. Some New York City shit that Scam would have done 20 years ago. And then I looked and I was like, oh, this is a kid who's 20 years ago from New York City. Yeah. So it kind of, it all makes sense, and it's like you said, it's not necessarily my gravitational style, but it's very, very cool for what it is. And to think that this style of music is just constantly evolving like every other style.
And again, in the lay of the land, I like where it sits. It doesn't sound like I like the energy, like we were talking, that West Coast energy. If it's the Gulches and it's the Scows, that old school DC, West Coast fast. These guys got that urban Northeast, a certain era, but their interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And what I love, it has nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
Because
right.
they're people that are outside of our world. So they're giving a more honest opinion of how their interpretations, because anybody in our circle is going to be tainted just from we've been swimming in that water.
I know.
So it's what we know. It's the familiar taste we have in our mouth.
Yep,
so it's good to see, like, even the layout. It's cool. It's like, you know, it has the West Coast, kind of the old school iron-on letters, but it got the urban thing, and it got it got something. And I don't know. I'm feeling the energy. I want to see where it goes. I want to see if I end up hating it or I end up liking it more. But definitely something cool.
It's on the radar for us, so it's on the radar for you now. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, and in the same vein, there wouldn't be one of them without one of these.
Yes, that's true.
So if you haven't heard, our very own Redhead Devil, that Devil on the Street, has a new video out. Scarhead dropped a new video, and I peeped this shit out the minute they got it. Shout out to Scarhead. Shout out to Ezek. And you peeped the hat that he got on the video, by the way. That Life of Hat is, CasaDeRock.com. You know the deal. But on the real, listen, the new Scarhead song is called Destruction. It got my brother Lars from Rancid on it. The song is dope. It's that classic Scarhead shit. I just watched it. I'm wondering where they recorded it, because I don't know where Lars and Ezek would be together in the last little bit. So it kind of bugged me out.
The traveling juggalo, he gets around.
Yeah, he does. But it's good that I'm glad they were able to pull out this record and then do a video for it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he was able to get Lars in on it, because, you know, Lars is fucking busy. It's hard to get people in videos nowadays and all that bullshit. So, and I like those good old school collabs.
Yep. Yeah. Very cool track too. It's cool to hear Lars, you know, on a non-Rancid or Old Firm or Punk Boy style, you know. Cool to hear him on a Scarhead track. And definitely check it out. Force 5 Records. I'm pretty sure it just came out recently.
I think it came out last week. Make sure you go follow it, hit it. Again, hit the likes. You got to forward it. You got to repost, do all that, everything that you know what to do. You got to do it for all these bands. That's how you show support. Just watching it doesn't do enough, but liking it and reposting it does more than you think. So, but go check out that Scarhead video. It's up right now on YouTube. And shout out to Ezek.
Shout out to Ezek for being our man on the street too with This Is Hardcore. Those clips were fun to do, and you know, he put some work in. And
absolutely. And keep an eye out for E. He's gonna be our guy in the Northeast. So we're only getting started. This, like, I really, when I tell you that, where the news brings you the news, you understand? And with that being said, I also want to make a point. This is a spot 100% fully independent network as of right now. You understand? Shout out to Tim Bora. Shout out to CTM. And, you know, we were on that company a while ago, but we've parted our ways. Nobody could represent us better than the people that follow us and the people that help build this shit. And that's you guys. So this is the way we got to do this moving forward. You know who our promotion company is? You motherfuckers out there. Right. So you got to subscribe. You got to repost, because that's the only way this thing is going to move. But the news and everything that we post here is done the way we want it, with no outside influences, brought to you by the people making the news. You understand? We don't alter it. We just fucking water cooler talk. You know, we rebounded back to you, because we got to keep the movement going. But shout out to them, and shout out to the motherfucking #1 independent news network for the underground in the motherfucking building. That's the Hard right. Corner.
Yeah.
So just wanted to let everybody know that we'll be moving forward.
Hell yeah.
And what do we got up next?
We got New World Man, some very cool stuff that just came up on my radar yesterday, as a matter of fact. Streets of Hate is a very cool new label popping up.
I like the name.
I know. Yes, I know you would. Great dude. He's got a lot of really cool young releases popping off from the Hudson Valley area, which is, you know, that Mind Force, Age of Apocalypse. That's where that, you know, scene is building. they've always had a great scene up that way between All Out War and Dissolve and plenty of these bands, End of One. So
all the heavy shit.
All the heavy shit. And this sort of fits right in that category. It's guys from Mind Force, it's guys from Pain of Truth and Life's Question, and it's guys from this band Invoke, who are all top tier, heavy, hard bands right now. And
I think you said from Invoke.
Never got Invoke.
Yo, shit, Invoke. I like it.
Invoke.
Yeah, but fucking.
Did you check it out at all? Did you have a chance?
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah, I did. I got a track, but what's funny, what I want to tell everybody, so Busky sends me the link. I said, let me go check this out.
Yep.
And while I'm putting it on, I'm in the gym and I hear, oh, I like some fucking, I'm like, wow, I go, wow, people are really going for it. I'm hearing samples are back and people are using I'm like, and it's going, and I'm like, whoa, these guys really went for it. Let me change another one.
Yeah.
And it was some other shit. Long story short, I was somewhere else, but finally I got to it and it was dope. I heard it was some real thrash shit, real gritty, which I love. So it was cool to get thrown off and then brought back to reality. I think it made me like them even more, so.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm right there with you. I mean, I think it's good. It's got all the traditional elements that you want. It's got the Leeway sound, it's got the Crumbsuckers, especially I feel like vocally it's got a very cool Crumbsuckers feel to it. Some really cool, I know that they say in their press release they mentioned Crumbsuckers and Nuclear Assault, and I really think that's really a great combination. It's a great description of what this is sort of all about. But I also hear some of some New York stuff like Icemen in there, some of the groovier stop and go parts where the bass and drums meet up and drop out, and just cool flavor, cool flow, cool everything. So again, younger kids from a younger label, you can't stop this. You can't stop the younger kids from moving this whole thing forward, and I love to hear them keep traditional sounds and values and things in of hardcore music. So this is on my radar. I loved it. So definitely, keep an eye out for it. Streets of Hate NY.Big Cartel. You can pick it up.
Yeah, definitely go check them out. The label's doing their thing, and shout out to fucking upstate New York and that whole area. They're fucking, again, they're keeping it real with the DNA from the old bands with that thrash metal hardcore mix, and they ain't stopping with it. And I like that. I like when people preserve some of that fucking DNA. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like finding that dinosaur sperm, and the fucking rehashing that shit. You know what I mean?
It took me for a loop on that one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, we were able to tap in. There's a lot of people on the road, but I got to tap in real quick with my homeboy. He's a hometown hero from South Florida, and now he's with Malevolent Creation, and they got to tap in real quick and hit us with a little bit of tour report. Let's go see Yo Gator. Hit him.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Josh and Ryan. We're from Malevolent Creation. We're out here on tour right now, having a blast in Europe. Hope to see you all soon.
Playing Budapest tonight. We got 3.5 more weeks out here in Europe. Shout out to Hoyer from the Hardcore and motherfuckers. Love y'all.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Shout out to fucking Malevolent. Shout out to all you metalhead motherfuckers. Shout out to everybody on the road. There's a lot of bands back home and actually going back out on their second halves of their tours. The Sick of It Alls, the Terrors, the As I Lay Dying, the Unearths. A lot of people hitting the road, so make sure you go support them.
Yep.
And shout out to everybody, overseas. You know what I mean? I miss you motherfuckers, and hope to see you soon. But we keep it rocking, and I'm glad to see out there. You motherfuckers, those festivals are looking crazy, man. It's good to see, man. The energy out there, it's like it never left.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't slowed down at all. Europe is always amazing.
Yeah,
always,
man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but definitely shout out to everybody on the road. Big shout out to everybody going to the fucking shows, supporting the shows. Because let me just say this real quick. It's rough when there's 1,000 bands out there to have 1,000 good shows. And right now, there's 1,000 good shows out there. It seems like everybody is supporting everybody.
Yeah.
So, like I've been saying, let's keep that energy, everybody, and keep rocking like that.
Totally.
And before we get out of here, we always gotta hit them. Let's hit them with the new drop of the week. What do we got? Hit them, Gator. Booyah shaka saka saka. This is some real fucking Satanas shit right here. Talk to me.
Put 'em
Talk to me.
out.
Heavy. Yeah. What up?
You gotta put that. You gotta get that thumb out,
Oh, no,
baby.
no, this, I love you, right? No, nah, this is heavy.
I don't know.
man.
Mike Dijon and Scott Vogel say thumb out.
Oh, thumb out? I don't know.
Yeah.
So whatever. But a shout out to all you motherfuckers out there throwing these things up. But
Yeah.
talk to me, Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate, where the news brings you the news. This came out yesterday. You know, features our man Tony from Municipal Waste on vocals, drummer from Cannibal Corpse on drums, guitar player from Warthog, which we were just talking about as well on guitar, and the bass player from a band called Reversal of Man. So I don't know how this thing came together, but it popped up on my, feed yesterday, and it's essentially just some sort of a super group, crossover thrash style. It doesn't stray too far from Tony's, sort of wheelhouse. But when you hear it, you're like, wow, that sounds exactly like the guitar player from Warthog, and it sounds exactly like the drummer from Cannibal, and it sounds exactly like Tony from Municipal Waste. So it's a perfect marriage of those three styles in a crossover thrash band. So Bandcamp, I know there's only this one track right now available.
Oh, so you just got this one track.
Just
First
the
of all,
one
before
track.
we go, there's nothing heavenly about the motherfuckers you just named.
Yeah.
You just named Cannibal Corpse,
Right.
fucking Jesus' mother's butthole. What was the other name of the other band that went?
Yeah.
No,
Reversal of Man.
No,
and
but shout out.
Warthog,
What I love is a bunch of OGs doing
Yep.
it. And again, shout out to fucking the Cannibal dudes and all those. I eventually want to get all of them on the Smoking Word podcast.
Yeah.
So all you Satan worshipers, go get on your Ouija boards and tap into these dudes and tell them the Rock is looking for them.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But no, it's dope. Again, real. I when you sent it, that's when I put it on. As a matter of fact, let me see. We want to break some fucking. We want to break some rules.
Let's do it.
We want to break some rules.
Yeah.
All on. Let's see something. But fucking when you sent this to me, I was like curious on what it was gonna be. Let's see what we got here.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely different for the municipal shit.
Yeah.
And again, you got that punk energy thrash.
Yeah.
And this is how the Hard Corner does it. We don't
Yeah.
give a fuck if you flag us. You understand? Because you motherfuckers are gonna keep tapping in and reposting. Right? All right.
Yeah, listen to that.
Look
Yeah.
at Tony. That one's for free, but Tony, you're gonna have to come on the podcast if you want me to keep bumping your shit. Shout out Tony, all of them, but no, but definitely cool shit. And what I'm glad about it, you could hear obviously Tony sounds like Tony, but it has its own energy too.
It does,
It doesn't sound like
Yeah.
another, Iron Reagan or
Yep.
Municipal Waste
Yep.
thing.
And it's cool that it's got, the guy from Warthog, because it really, they have such a unique sound that he brings to the table with his guitar tone and just his style of playing. Just a lot of that, I don't know if it's just straight, fast down picking, but just that sort of, motorheady discharge, that punky energy.
Yeah.
And we all know that those guys in Cannibal Corpse, like they love hardcore music. They always have. They grew up, in the Buffalo scene. And I know they went to plenty of hardcore shows in Buffalo back in the day.
Yep.
So it's not far off for these guys to be involved in a punk hardcore band. They just totally get it. And I don't know. I think there's probably more to come from this. I'm sure this isn't just a one and a done thing. I know there's a couple shows coming up that they announced. So hopefully there'll be more from this whole entire project and, maybe even a full length record. But this one track is killer already. So they're off to a great start.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. And I'm glad, again, more new music out there for
Yeah.
you motherfuckers to go listen to. But you got to support the bands. You got to support the tours. You got to cop the merch. That's what keeps us alive. And that's what keeps the movement alive. Again, this is why we do the show, to keep the movement alive and to keep everything that we all have done alive and showing it the respect that it deserves. That's why we do it. You know what I mean? We don't just bury it in shit. You know what I mean? When something goes, we want to honor it, and that's what we do with what we do. You know what I mean? We don't try to pimp where we come from. We want to honor where we come from, and that's what we're doing with the show. That's what we do with the movement. That's what we do by keep doing what we've been doing. So I want everybody who's been tuning in, pat yourself on the motherfucking back, because this is another one in the bag, and
Definitely.
we will be back every week. You know, let them know, Busky, where to catch us, where they can follow us, and you and all that good shit.
You know the deal. Smoking Word Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Hoya Rock 357 on Instagram. You can catch me at Busky on Instagram. And you know, like you said, you gotta hit those like buttons and the subscribe buttons and the Patreons and be a part of the movement. You know, this isn't a spectator sport. This is literally get in the ring, get dirty, get your feet dirty, you know, boots on the ground movement. So yeah, like, follow, and subscribe, all of those, and you know, we'll be back next week.
Exactly. Remember, this is 100% homegrown, independent movement. The news, where the news brings you the motherfucking news.
Right.
And with that, yo, Gator, we out of here. Busky, till the next time.
Peace.
We out. Peace.
To believe